writing's not going good. I look like my character.
I like the song.
I know, definitely feel like you're like in a.
A really high class waiting room.
Oh yeah,
Just relax. It's like a little groove. It's like a little nice groove.
Like I'm expecting water with a slice of lemon and lime,
give a
and
lounge vibe.
a little
Hello,
Biscoff, a little Biscoff cookie.
I am your host, Daryl.
I'm your host, Aaron,
And I am Nelson.
And we
and
have our very special guest joining us again, once again, Harold.
thank you for being here.
Did he just go blank?
Where do you
No,
go?
I think he's refreshing on his end.
Like the moment we start, I get a phone call.
It's fine. All day. It's cool. We see.
All right.
Okay. All right. So, hello, gentlemen. Our wonderful co-host Nelson submitted three valid questions, and I think they are very intriguing. So, I'm going to start off by reading the first one. Do you think you need to be with your own race, living in the same neighborhood or school, or is diversity key? Now, Nelson, did you base this question off what's been kind of going on lately, or this is just kind of how you felt?
Yeah, I based it off what's been going on lately,
Okay.
and I also had like a great conversation about the question was actually that I was debating about was, do you think like black kids should be in black neighborhoods, and I mean not black, do you think black kids should be in white neighborhoods and white school? And everybody was saying no to that, and I agree, but I just feel like diversity is key. We need to show our people more things than just the hood or um, bad neighborhoods. Because like right now, we have a lack of resources in our community. We don't have youth centers. We don't have access to help and stuff like that. And I just feel like once we see more, we can do more. Once we vision more and travel more, we will know more. We don't have to feel like we stuck somewhere, stuck in this neighborhood. Open up our mindset, and that's what I really want for our people to do. So I think diversity is very much key.
Right. I could definitely see you base it off what, been happening, especially if you've been kind of following the case, which I think me and you kind of on the same page. I think just growing up in urban, I always been around black people. I was never really no diversity, like that until, going into junior high, high school. Outside of that, like just living in general in a neighborhood, it was always predominantly black because, we just kind of understood each other, so even now in my adult age, I don't know. I just feel like you just kind of fall by default to what you used to. Some people could be in a room full of diverse people, but sometimes it's nothing like being around your own, even though I know our own people could carry. We all know how our people can be. You know where I stand.
That we could get.
Mm.
Um, for me, I can't really say that can relate to like being in like a fully black neighborhood. I never have. I've always lived in both neighborhoods with blacks and whites always. So I don't even know how I can even tell you like how it feels to just live in a predominantly black neighborhood. To be honest with you,
Mm.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. How was that for you? I mean, did you feel like it was good far as like
Abs-
seeing everything?
absolutely, because you also got to think about when you go into the like work field and things like that, you're gonna have to be able to experience.
Different people and background. Yeah, you're right.
It just teaches you how to, how to.
Yeah, but I think that the core
Yeah.
difference is between the two is one. at a job, you have no choice to determine who you work with versus when you decide to live in an area, that's your personal choice. So one is more choiceful than the other.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
yeah, but I think, and this is coming from someone who I lived in predominantly black neighborhoods, but my parents would strongly encourage and motivate me to go into white spaces because, in the words of my mom, I needed to understand the rules of the game which I was going to play. So even though you have a choice of where you work, right? Think about the success rates. This is why it's so important for people like, well, you're the first black in this, taking presidency, for example,
Right.
right? Had Barack Obama, President Barack Obama, not know how to manage or handle himself in crowds where people are going to automatically say, well, he's in Africa. His dad was a Muslim. Like, to be
Yeah.
able to hold your own in a space where you're disarming them while simultaneously proving your point as to why you're the best candidate for the job, you have to understand where those rules come from. So if we're isolating ourselves to just predominantly black neighborhoods, which I think in this climate it's safer for us to do that, um, because when we do go into those white spaces, we do see situations where students here in Mississippi, well, I'm not here in Mississippi because I ain't in Mississippi, but students in Mississippi to this day are still being hung from trees and it's deemed suicide, right? So
Yeah.
it's typically safer for us to kind of stay to our quarters or our corners of the city or of the planet of the country.
Right.
But when you think about if we want to be successful, we have to venture out and we have to understand how to work with people, not just white people, but people of different backgrounds. What is it like working with people who are Chinese or um, Asian or African? Because Africans see black people as, now you're just black, you're not really African American, you're just black. And like they don't associate with that. So it's just a matter of like where do you want to be successful at? If you want to be successful and safe at home, stick to your people. If you want to venture out and make the big bucks, no whammy, learn the rules of the game, but you have to socialize and interact with those people who don't know what it means to have 4C hair or don't know what it means when I say, oh, you ask you, where's your lotion at? You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
Hmm.
it just depends on what are your intentions.
Right.
Yeah.
It's gonna go back to intent. The next question is, do you have okay, say what do you have that no one else could take from you? What inspired that question, Nelson?
Um, I saw this TikTok and it was just amazing. It was just saying like, um, what do you have that someone cannot take away from you? And I have pride. You know what I mean? I get up and I go to work every day. I make sure my bills are paid. I have a car. I have a pride in what I do for myself, and I hold myself accountable to a higher standard. And I take pride in that because a lot of people cannot stay focused or handle their business properly. So it's like, what do you have that no one can truly take away from you? I can cook down, you can't take that away from me. Okay, like what do you have that someone cannot take away from you? I don't care what you say, how bad you say it, you can simply take it away from me. This is me.
Yeah. Okay, that actually makes sense.
That's a
Uh, go
question.
ahead.
You
I,
really
I would
thought.
say my compassion. I think that's one of the biggest things that actually puts me in the rooms that I'm in because no matter what people do or say or act towards me, I do my best to say, okay, so maybe it's not about me. Maybe they have some kind of insecurity that they're dealing with. I don't know. It's none of my business. If you want to be mad, you're going to be mad. That's why you got crow's feet. So you got wrinkles. You know what I'm saying? But that shouldn't be a bearing on my character just because you're upset. That doesn't mean that I have to be rude back to you. And I think that's one of the biggest pet peeves I have when people are like, well, she got rude with me. I'm going to rude with her. So now both of y'all look like evil people. You
Hmm.
got just hungry.
I guess for me, I guess it's my very unique way how I articulate certain things and break things down, and also how I kind of unify certain diverse people. Sometimes I have a way of, even though I'm not the most social, I let me go with that disclaimer first. I am not the most social, but however, I have a way of, warming people's hearts, and somehow along the way, people be like, you know what, he's worth it. I come through for this or X, Y, and Z. So, I have a way of bringing people together, or be like, you know what, fine, I do this for him because he's him, type of way. So that's just me. You know what I'm saying? Some people might do
Yeah.
something just because it's me, but then if it's somebody else, be like, nah, you know. Type.
Yeah.
I want to go with a little bit of what Aaron said. So for me, um, I am very social, and so I feel like no one can take that away from me from being like social and being like a big social butterfly and being that's just who I am. I'm not afraid to to speak in front of rooms, to sing in front of rooms, to be on a podcast. Like that's just me. No, like no one can take that away from me. I'm a very openly person.
You are here. You
That
are
is
here.
true.
You ain't
That is.
scared. I love that.
Yeah, that's just me.
All right. The next question is: do humans do evil things because evil things have been done to them? So, like, basically, it's like a tit for tat type of situation, Nelson, right?
Very much so. Very much so. And I definitely do feel that um, people do bad things because it have been done to them. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, like take a relationship for example. When you leave a relationship, you have to take that time to heal, because jumping into the next person, you might can pass on your past trauma to them. You might can start thinking, oh, this happened, so you doing what the same person have did to me. So you are starting to do evil things. So I definitely feel like we all humans, whether relationship or just socially, people do evil things back to get at someone just to hurt people's feelings, and it's not a good thing at all.
Right, right. I totally agree.
I believe like there's trauma from the past. I do believe that whether like you said, whether relationship, whether friendship, it's something from the past of why you're in this way, something that you developed. And sometimes it's a bad
Oh.
for people.
Mhm.
I think it goes back to almost like the concept of sometimes, like, how people be talking about generational curses and all these things. I feel like it's similar to that in the sense where it's like, if you don't have a certain awareness about yourself or the energy that you bring, then it's like by default, you're going to kind of cause damage everywhere you go, consciously or not consciously. So to me, I feel like when it comes to certain dynamics, you really have to kind of sit with yourself and be like, okay, what was the root core cause of why I am or why I do these things today? And then you
I
got to
got
also take some accountability, like not just one. If multiple people have told you the same thing in different form, then there must be some truth. Not everybody's delusional.
Mhm. Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
so I want to, for my own sake, I want to like get some clarification because when we say evil, for me, that means like you intended to do something
Oh
malicious,
yeah, yeah, you're right, you're
as
right.
opposed to just being like I hurt you because I hurt, but it's not like I'm going out of my way to hurt you, as opposed to I didn't do my healing properly, right? So I'm being irresponsible in my healing and
Right.
not taking accountability and honestly grieving the relationship that I was in because that could have been a relationship where you thought you were going to get married and thought that you were going to have kids, and this person's been cheating on you the entire relationship. So am I saying to myself, well, you know what, I'm going to make the next dude pay for what this one did because I can't get the healing or closure I need from him, as opposed to just saying, you know what, I think I'm ready for a relationship because we also here to get over one person, you have to get over the next. And I think that's irresponsible too because you don't take the time to grieve the relationship and to also learn the lessons that came from it. Whether it's you're the one that violated the trust, or it just you just outgrew each other. So, like when we say evil, my thing is if you're doing something to be malicious, then you need to have a little powwow and one with Jesus and do some healing. But if it's just like mismanagement of my healing, and I think that's a different conversation a different question that we need to ask, that I would ask. Let me say that.
I
It
agree.
could be done subconsciously though, like meaning like you can have people that let's say you ever had a friend that literally put down every single thing that you do. Every time you should throw it out, we should flip it this way. Or don't do that. Like it could turn evil because every time I bring something to you, it is shot down. Like no plan or no idea I give you ever works out, and you have to see like this person is no good for me because nothing I say or do is good enough. Is not positive. You are
Right.
against me. You are against me. You're not for me. So it becomes like a evil thing. Because why can't you accept nothing I want?
Right. It's just like when a person be like, "Oh, congratulations on your little promo," like the backhanded shade and negativity
I mean,
type.
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
I do is little. Everything is big, big dog. Everything. But I mean, I see your point. I think that's when you have to start having those conversations with people who are your friend. Like you listen,
Mhm.
you did this so many times. I have all these ideas, and in my mind, these are $1 million ideas, and you're like, well, I mean, I guess if that's what you want to do, but if it were me, but it's not, right? So you have to then now you are just being a little evil bitch.
but I don't think that that would be evil. I don't evil is that's a
Yeah. Well, that's a big
harsh
word.
word.
I
Like
don't know.
So that's why I wanted to say when we talking about evil.
Yeah, we
So
need clear the clarification. Yeah, you're right.
you got somebody that has a bulletin board up in their room, and they have the markers, and they got X's. Like for me,
yeah,
that's
that's a
it would be evil, but like that's why I think I think there is this concept of good and evil, right? Good versus evil. I think that's a real thing.
Right.
I think people operate in evil and don't know that they're operating in evil. If that's what Nelson was getting to, right? I don't know that I'm being evil because at this point in life, this is just a natural pattern for me.
Right.
This is daily. It's very easy to be like, okay,
Mhm.
this is a podcast. This cute or whatever, right? And it's
Mhm.
because not because
Right.
I'm evil, but because I've done that for so long. So that means there's work that I need to do on myself. I need to watch some videos, seek some therapy, do a whole bunch of Hail Marys or whatever the case may be. But also to and not to like not go off topic on the question, but I think when we notice it or if we're encountering someone that we consider a friend or family and we notice that this pattern is happening with them, give them the conversation if you choose to keep this person in your life. You've been my best friend since sixth grade. Da, 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 da. But just because you've known this person for that amount of time doesn't mean the friendship is of quality. So have the conversation, and if they respect you and respect the friendship, they say, you know what, you're right. I
Mhm.
apologize. I'm going to work on it. But the next time they
Mhm.
son you or a little something to you, oh, okay, listen, we had this conversation. Like I'm big on friendship contracts. I know it's a joke for some people, but my besties, hey, so listen, if this ever happens, let's have this conversation. Like not being facetious, not being fake, because both of them are Aquarians. So that was right up their alley. Uh, okay, you don't have to do all that. Calm down. so calm down. But that's how they operate. And so with me being a Libra, I'm like, oh, let's just have some fun. Let's get into it. Let's get into the pieces. Let's do the
That's how
things.
my fiance is. Yeah.
And so my best friend who's in the Air Force, she's like, hey, so that's cute. How does this make sense in your life right now? Who's trying to make sense? Like who trying to make sense? I'm out here living life. I'm popping bottles, right? So him holding me accountable to things isn't in my mind to the outside world. People are like that's he trying to hold you back. He trying to, but he's holding me accountable to where I'm not doing something that's going to fumble any bad that
Exactly.
happens in the future.
Exactly. Which is a
Right.
good thing.
So you do have
I
to
see
you
that.
have to discern. Okay, are you trying to be evil, like vindictive, because you don't want me to be great, or are you seeing something I don't see when it comes to um, the pathway that I'm on? Because if I told you my dream, I want to do this. I want to own a restaurant. I want to do this. He's like, so why are you over here working at Walmart full time? And why are you not pouring into your gift? Because I need this money. Okay, but use your gift to make the money if that's what you say you need to do, right? So that it's not him being evil even though I cuss him out and stuff. Are you going to the gym? Don't worry about it. I had a long day. Then go to the gym.
Right.
Get
I
your,
can go
get
to the
your
gym
ass.
tomorrow. You better leave me
Right.
alone.
You know what I'm saying? I go tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
I think sometimes when people give the constructive criticism, and like I said, you said, you have to have the discernment about it. But sometimes it's the basic ass job that you use to fill your dream. Sometimes, even when a person says a statement like that, sometimes you gotta use other means to pour into your dream and things take time to build up. So even though if a person coming with the greatest intention, be like, listen, I see the potential, I believe in you, like why you doing this and that. Sometimes it's a slow start and the smallest moves that get us to the big places. So that little
Yeah.
Walmart job, that might not be paying that little coin. Shit, you never know. That person might be stacking up that coin on the back end to fulfill that dream. But because a person don't have the full map vision board like you do drawn out,
Right.
the assumption could come off a little shady in a way.
Yeah, yeah,
But see,
for
that's the thing.
sure.
So, and that's why I think it's really important to know. I made a statement earlier, like if that's the person, Nelson. And, I'm trying to get you that. So, if I am I pointing at you, Nelson, or is it going somewhere else?
No, the other way, the other way.
Yeah, nobody can.
Anyway, so Nelson, I don't know because I'm like, there's nothing over there. Okay, but what Nelson was saying earlier when I was telling him, so if you have this person who's being like turning you down and being negative Nancy onto your dreams, you might need to consider finishing up that contract and not renewing it for the next year or whatever you want to do. Because
Hmm.
there's a difference between turning down or negative talking on what I want to do versus holding me accountable and reminding me you still got stuff to do. So don't lose sight of this because you're in the nitty gritty of this 9 to 5 to fund the dream. Don't forget to work on the dream though. Don't forget to actually fund the dream. So I think that's the thing where you have to worry about it. But I know I've been on that for like 25 more minutes.
All
But
right,
that's my
that's fine.
thoughts.
No, that was
I
very.
just love talking. I just love talking about my best friends because like it's almost 20 years for us, and I don't have many of those friends. So
I know that's
Hmm.
very rare. Okay, so this that's all the questions. So this first clip is the one that Cordero kind of submitted, and this kind of going to who's kind of talking about. So I'm about to bring this up.
Let's get into some things.
Y'all my banana tree, and I told y'all like they were ripe and I had to take off the first two rows and I made smoothies with them, but I didn't take all of them off, and I'm gonna show you what happens when something has grown right till its full potential and it is ready to be removed, but you keep it there. Let me show you. You see these bananas at the top? See, they were ready and I didn't remove them, and so now they've died. Okay, all of the nutrients are being sucked out of them and they're dying. Did you catch the message? You see, they was ready to go. They grew to their full potential. All I had to do was take them out of the environment, right? Because they had outgrown it. But because they stayed, the life is starting to be sucked out of them and they are beginning to die. Some of them are already dead. I don't know if y'all are getting it, but baby, you have outgrown that environment, that job, that relationship, that town, that city, that neighborhood. But because you have chosen to stay, you feel like you're dying inside. The life is being sucked out of you. Because when you were at your full potential, you should have left. But because you didn't, this is why we feel the way we feel. Baby, it's the bananas. It ain't me. I'm just saying, when we stay in a place, when we have outgrown it, sometimes it can kill us. That's it. All right, honey, y'all go about your business, okay? And have a good day. But even if you can't have a good one, don't you dare go messing up nobody else's. I love you. Bye.
Well, that kind of went straight into what we was talking about
listen,
previously.
Tab
Love
bring it
it.
to me every time. That's my auntie.
Love that question. I love that. I love that video so bad.
Yeah. So it's just pretty much just saying, just like I'm sure some of us, well, we do probably all do have jobs, had jobs where we've we've stayed in, but we didn't. We stayed in, but we're staying in maybe because for the money and things like that.
Where if yeah, go ahead, Quitter.
But but he wasn't happy there at that job. But you chose to stay there, but you're still being unhappy. You're unhappy. It happens all the time. I've had a situation. I was at my previous job for 8 years. And yes, the money was good. That's what was keeping me there. But I was so unhappy. So I had to leave. It was like she said, the life was being sucked out of me for the whole 8 years. I just wasn't happy, but the money was lovely.
Hmm. I think that um I love the video, and I think that we all go through that, and you can put that in your life as far as sometimes we stay in neighborhoods and we know we outgrew the neighborhoods. That kind of goes into the sorry, the first question that we did that I had came up with. Do you think we should live with our own race and stay in our own neighborhoods and things of that nature? Sometimes we outgrow that neighborhood. It's too much happening, and what's wrong with me moving away to to get a better life? What's wrong with me taking this route and going to college? You know what I mean? Um, we we have to learn with friendship, relationship. We have to learn when it's time to move. We don't keep staying because it can take us down. It can take us out. That bad job will start making you feel depressed. Will start making you angry. It will show up in the person you are by keep holding on. It will show up in your actions and how you respond to people. So yeah, it's not a good thing to do.
I've even seen situations where sometimes people are not happy with their job, and sometimes they come home and they bring that job home, which is not
Yeah,
a,
my auntie.
No, I totally agree. Even outside of job, just even with friendships and stuff, sometimes even with friendships or relationships, and just it's just me, just kind of seeing things for the last like 30 years living, witnessing certain situations is that sometimes people stay at certain things because either one, they are content, and two, they feel like okay, it's familiarity, they familiar, it's comfortable and X, Y, and Z. Just because you have history with a place or a person doesn't mean it's good for you. Because sometimes things just become a memory and you become a shell of what you formerly was. But because of the time and so much time, and I think that's another issue is that people feel like, oh, I spent 8 or 9 years in this friendship, relationship, marriage, or whatever. That's time you can't get back, especially in the gay world. We all know like time is sometimes not our friend. Like those 8 years is like, listen, these are 8 years I've been in this thing. I don't want to give that up. Or people be
Eight
like,
years feel like
people
15
go back.
years.
Yeah, like even if you go back out here, sometimes like shit, sometimes you got into the perfect thing at the perfect time, which is fine. But
yeah.
then if you fast forward 8 years in the future, and you be like, it's time to leave. And then when you look at, for example, the dating market or the job market or whatever in this economy, you be like, damn, it's not shit out here compared to my day. You know what I'm saying? So I
But
think sometimes people become complacent.
like in those situations that you said, Aaron, like, yeah, you've been there, you're comfortable, you're content, you're used to doing these things, but are you truly happy? Are you satisfied? You're fulfilling doing this job? Are you fulfilled? You feel fulfilled in this relationship and things like that?
Hmm. No, you're not, and you need to get out because it'll take you out, it'll kill you, slowly bring you down. Same with neighborhood. I grew up in the same house my whole life for 19 years, and my family wanted to keep the house. My family wanted to stay over there, but the neighborhood was horrible. We was beyond the neighborhood. We was beyond the people over there. It wasn't a community, and
Right.
I had to get out. I had to get out before it took me out. I was better than that neighborhood. I was better than the people. Um, I'm not saying I'm better than someone, but I had a mindset of I want more. I want to see more. I want to achieve more. I can't stay here because the people here is don't think the same as me. Their mentality is different. I can't stay in this environment. I have to get out this space and find what fits me.
So, with that being said, logistically, how does that work? How does the exit plan work, right? Because we hear the, and I'm in total agreement in the process of trying to move now. But what does that process look like when you're trying to build the exit strategy? Because you do get to a point where you're just like, you know what, bump all of this. I don't need to be here. And then what? Right? Then you don't have your next
Plan.
nest is built, right? So how does that look like when you one? When do you know like enough is enough? Is it like a feeling? Is it just is
I,
it what differentiates that from just other than I just don't want to get out of bed as opposed to I'm so tired of coming to this BS of a job, this crap job, this that, and the third.
I think it's just a mental. I think it's a mental capacity of bullshit. and situations that just build up with time in general across the board. Because I think some of us, and I'm gonna also throw in a people background and upbringing. When you kind of grew up, like for example, me and my sister, we had our parents in our life, but however, we was mostly living with our grandparents, so we kind of grew up with a little bit of the old school way of. In their time, they just pushed through it. No matter how they felt, they just pushed through it. You know what I'm saying? In days back then, women didn't leave their husbands or whatever. They'd be like, "Listen, I know everything that's going on, and I still stay." Men, they hated the job they do, but they still did what they did to provide with their family. So sometimes it's the mentality that also passed down that could lead to why people stay in certain dynamic because that's what they was taught and they was learned. So, but in modern day, obviously we think differently from them, where it's like, okay, it's been too many situations piling up, in this relationship or friendship. I gotta go. At least now versus then, people didn't have the options like we have now. We got opportunity. You know what I'm saying? But going back to your point, what is the exit strategy? We could feel how we feel all day, but what is the end plan? At the end of the day, if you don't have an end plan, then it's just feelings just kind of sitting.
No, but you should have an end plan. Like when you get fed up, whatever. Yeah, you should definitely have an exit plan. That's when you look for another job or this relationship. That's when you sit back and thinking how what's the best way to get out of this situation or tell this person or talk to this person that you how you're feeling or whatever.
You if you're in a relationship and if I don't know, it depends on who you're dealing with because sometimes you might have to keep your mouth closed and just build up your little strategy and make your little exit because you don't know how it can get. Hmm.
Um,
Just
I
kidding.
and I don't agree. I still feel like when you say you don't know how it can get, um, I don't feel like when you say that, that's like giving our viewers like not. I don't know. To me, like giving our viewers not an
You
opportunity
gotta
to speak and
You got to
let them
be calculated.
how they feel, like being scared almost. I still feel
no
like
not
be
not
vulnerable.
being scared. We gotta think about like let's say you had a relationship and it was kind of like
I
hostile or you guys you have to be smart and not saying you won't ever tell the person you should definitely tell them but sometimes you might have to um um handle your business on the side prepare yourself you can communicate once you're away from the situation because it might not be safe in
Right.
that time
Everybody's situation different.
to
I
Right.
get.
yeah you might not be whew.
I've done that
So,
before. I've my bags before and literally laugh and never. And yeah, definitely done that.
Right. So
Oh,
I
you
feel
you just laughed. You didn't say bye.
like
so when you're in environments that you don't feel safe, like what's the protocol? Because you're in a relationship and it doesn't. So you say safe, like financially safe
Be
or
financially
physically?
safe. I feel that you need to be financially safe. You need to communicate um, with the ones who are close to you, meaning the ones you know will come and help you, who will show up for you. Tell family, friends, what you are doing. Let someone know, and you create a safety exit. You have to, especially with relationship, because sometimes we will definitely get sidetracked with, "I really love you," and you have to analyze who you're dealing with.
I was financially okay, and I literally just up and left. I was going
right. But here's the
forever.
thing. Not everybody could do that. So like for example, well, my fiance and his ex best friend, his ex best friend used to be married to somebody we kind of knew, and his husband was kind of abusive. So he was mentally and physically kind of checked out. So he had to move accordingly, and my fiance got him out of there without no goodbye or nothing. So sometimes it's easy for certain people to move away, but when you know you're in a situation, especially when it's abusive, you got to move very articulately because sometimes even your life could be on the line. So you got to be very kind of smart. Because sometimes even the person you could look at them and be like, oh, this person is strong. You build broadly, even the most strongest in that look. But if your mind is not kind of there or you just don't have the strength, it's like you got to move in a certain way for your sake.
Yeah, I
You
wasn't to leave the way I left. I was just making an example of how I
know?
did. I literally.
Hey, but look, nothing is wrong with how you left because and at that time, you that's how you wanted. That's how you wanted to exit, and
It was
that's
best.
not bad. That's not wrong.
It was best.
It was best, and you said you here now.
Yeah.
Sure, it's not wrong.
Right. Okay then. Well, this we could go on to the next clip from Nelson, and this kind of fall into what we was almost talking about.
To tell you how I feel because you respond a certain way, then we do not need to be in a dynamic anymore. We've all had those people around us where you tell somebody how you feel, and instead of actually being receptive to your feelings or acknowledging where you're coming from, they immediately get on the defensive. Why do I feel like an issue or a burden because I told you how I felt, and you magically, like you always do, turned it around on me and made me seem like the issue? If I cannot have a transparent conversation with you in a respectful manner and tell you how I feel without you taking away any type of tidbit or any type of takeaway from where I'm coming from, then it was actually pointless for us to be friends in the first place. Because why is it every time I come to talk to you about how I feel, we never reach a solution because you are too reluctant to see somebody else's point of view outside of yours, and you're focusing on your intent instead of your effect on me. You may have not intended to hurt my feelings or bother me or make me feel some type of way, but you affected me in that way. This is nuanced, right? Because sometimes there are no points, right? People are not supposed to agree to things that they don't feel like they've done. But if this is a continuous pattern of someone telling you how you made them feel and you being reluctant to see from their point of view, then unfortunately that dynamic will never last.
Absolutely. I so agree to what he said. Absolutely. That ain't that
Absolutely,
you want.
True.
absolutely.
I don't know if there's anything to go
I feel
against
that, but
that.
I definitely agree with what he's saying. But I will say that um, you have a lot of people are toxic, far as you can see someone viewpoint, and I'm literally trying to mold myself like this, meaning that if we have a disagreement or we have a conversation where you are expressing yourself, I can I have multiple times have said I understand how you feel, and now I'm trying to explain myself, and when it comes to that part, it's not being received. So why won't people receive um the acknowledgement is what I'm saying. People don't receive the acknowledgement. So when you do get the acknowledgement, I hear you, friend. I understand where you coming from. Why is it still for me it been met with like backlash a lot? Um, and it's still an argument. And it's like, why do we have to argue, or why you're not receiving me saying I acknowledge your feelings, or I receiving what you're saying, but this is how I feel. I feel like that happened in the workplace and just socially as well.
I think
Um.
with that
Okay.
is I want to say it's tricky. Instead of tricky, I'm gonna say it's nuanced, right?
Right.
So I'm just gonna go all the way down there. So I lost my grandmother, right? I'm Granny's baby. I'm in the thick of it. I'm boo-hooing my eyes out. And then if you come to me and say, I understand, friend, I lost my grandmother, da 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 da, I'm going to be a little triggered because this wasn't about you, right? Now, I understand that you want to relate to me, you want to try to take some of the stress, you want to connect with me, but sometimes I just need to get it out without people trying to
Make it about them.
make it about them, right? Even in your eyes, it's a small thing and it's very innocuous, right? I'm just trying to connect with you so that way you don't feel alone. I think is the intent, right? He just said that the intent versus the effect. Your intent was to make me feel like I'm not alone, but right now I'm going. I just lost my grandmother, so it's gonna feel different if you say, "Well, I understand, friend. I lost my grandmother last year." That's fine, whoop de doo. But like, I just lost my grandma yesterday. Right, so the emotional pain is still very raw for me. So I don't need someone to try to take that. I would much rather have someone just hold me, right? But on the flip side, I think it's important. If I'm your friend, I need to know how you need to be coddled or how you need to be consoled. Because if I know that that's triggering to you, I've done my due diligence as your friend to understand. Okay, so this is what my friend is upset. Maybe he likes food. I'm
Ooh,
gonna give him some time to cry. I'm gonna bring him his favorite meal, right? That way it's still about him and I'm still understanding because I've taken the time to know you, right? I may say, hey, so I know you're going through a lot. I just want you to know if you need me, I'm right here. But I left you some food in the refrigerator. I left you the number four from Burger King that you like with a large fry and a Dr. Pepper. I don't know who do Dr. Pepper on the Burger King, but you see what I'm saying. So it's a matter of showing your friend that you're still showing up for them, but not taking some of their pain to make it a little bit about you, so that you can connect with them.
I do have a
Um,
question for that though. I do have a question for you, Harold. Like, why would that offend you? We were just talking about that. Far as you know, how people say, "Oh, if you don't have kids, you can't tell me how to take care of kids. If you don't have this, you know what I mean." So, if you use your grandma for example, if I simply say, "Hey, I know how you feel. My grandma passed away as well." Now, if I dive into a deep conversation, I can see you getting offended. But if I simply say, "Hey, I can relate to you.
Mhm.
My grandmother passed away as well," why would that be like triggering?
but oh damn, go ahead.
There was
So
that would offend me too.
But
because
here's the
because
thing, though, and this is no shade, if I may say, because sometimes I straddle the fence with this a lot, right? Because I be on both sides of it, and it's like to me, just like what Nelson say, if you're not going to a deep dive, then I'm not making it about me. I'm just relating to you. I never really thought about it from that dynamic because I'm always the person where I could just kind of relate and connect. I never really thought about it from that process, so it's kind of interesting.
But you're
Hmm.
like he's making it about him. Like just be that friend and just hear him out. Just be there for him. Not saying I don't think he wants to know about your grandmother and passing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he
and
wants you to be there for him at the moment. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? But that's where the discernment have to come into play. Where these are the factors I looked at. Right, how long I've known you for one, and two, it's like okay, you gotta kind of read the room. So sometimes when people be having that sit down and things are going kind of deep, sometimes we kind of overlook that part and be like, you know what, I'm just trying to relate. But by default, if we accidentally triggering you, then it's not like with malicious intent. You know what I'm saying?
This is malicious intent, but you're saying he's telling you that like my grandmother has passed away, right? I feel like you should be more wanting to be there for him, not giving your story about your grandmother.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, for
Yeah,
sure. That's why I
yeah.
say going down that rabbit hole. But in general, I get what you're saying. But
so
I
for
think
me,
So,
like
but
human
that
nature,
shouldn't even be introduced,
but
right? Because if we're friends, I've known that you've already lost your grandmother,
True.
right?
right? So
no,
some of the context is already there, right? If
Right,
I've known
no,
you for, let's just
that's
say I
right.
have a friend in from high school. His grandfather passed when we were in junior high school. My grandfather passed in high school. So he called me when I told him, so, my grandpa, passed away. He said, okay, I'm so sorry. Bro, what do you need? Because I've been there. That's all he said. What do you need in this moment? And then it went from there. I told him, I'm hungry. I haven't had any sleep. We had a Quizwell competition. He said, the only thing I need you to do is just show up if you can. And because he knew we've built that relationship. And even now, like when I had my best friends, when I lost my grandmother, they were, hey, so where are you at? Like, where are you at? I'm like, well, I'm at home. They're like, no, emotionally and mentally, where are you at? Because I need to make sure how I say what you need to hear is tailored to the right part of you. So I do think I understand when people say, well, I've been there. But again, just because you lost your grandmother, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to understand the pain I'm going through, right? Because you may still have a grandmother. Like, none of my grandparents are alive. This is just me being
Right.
individualized. None of my grandparents are alive. So someone saying that they lost a grandparent and I lost, all
Well,
four,
it's
that's
two
even a
different
different thing.
things.
You don't understand what
Right.
that's like because like now when I cook, I'm like, granted, so I can't call her because she's not
yeah.
here,
I think
right?
it's both ways though. I think it's both ways because I had to do like therapy for my grandmother passing, and I had to do therapy for a while, and actually like I
Who else should be in
a lot
therapy?
of stuff happened. A lot of things happened to me. So if I would be the person that wanted to say, hey, my grandma passed away too. I want to dive into it. I wouldn't take your moment. I would just say it. I wouldn't give you no other scenarios unless you want to engage further. But I would want to say, hey, I can relate in that aspect of my grandmother passed away too, and that's it. Like no extra words,
So,
and let
I
you go.
and
go
I think, go
to
ahead, girl. Mm.
say that, Nelson, but not right off the bat. Not right off the bat. Maybe
On some back end type,
in in a little while, once maybe you feel like after
Yeah,
days or a week or something, then you could, go over and talk to them. And then you can say like,
right,
I can relate, but not right off the bat.
right. It's
no,
just
right off the
like,
back, I'm gonna let you talk, let you have your thing, let you do everything right to back. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
right. I totally
I agree.
agree.
I agree.
I'm still, because my thing is, I feel like the most powerful question is, what do you need?
Yeah,
In this trying time, what do you need from me as your friend?
Absolutely.
Right. It doesn't matter who I lost. Listen, it's just like when I go to the gym. Man, I've been 500 pounds. Well, first of all, bitch, I ain't been 500 pounds. I'm still holding the weight that I'm trying to lose, but you've already lost the weight, right? So
right,
even though you've been there, you're not in the now with me. So I think the context is different.
right,
So I get, and I completely 100% understand why you would want to say that, because you don't want your friend to feel alone. I like, like, you're not alone in the world, but like that's going to remind me even further, like the person that I want isn't here because I just lost that person. So
right,
asking me what I need, or asking that person, what do you need right now? How can I show up for you? Because
right.
sometimes people just like, I just need somebody to be there, or I just need some time, or whatever the case may be. Because if you need time and I don't give you the opportunity to say you just need time, I'm going to immediately want to jump in, because as your friend, I don't want to see you in pain.
Right.
Right?
It
I can
just
do everything but bring your grandmother back.
Are you
right.
happy?
I agree with that.
I agree. I agree.
I
I guess we
agree.
can
I
move
feel
on
like
Or
to.
anybody else. I know we stuck on grandma, but I was like, there's other people in the world that be done, but I'm just saying.
you okay, Aaron?
No, no, no. I relate to it. I relate because my two oldest brothers like going through that exact same thing. So for me, even being a little brother right now, try to be like,
Oh,
what
yeah,
do you
baby.
need in the present? I get it.
Makes sense.
I don't think you heard me. Are you okay over there? You hot?
It's a little humid.
Are you
Menopause,
going to menopause?
menopause,
You going to
menopause.
menopause?
It's
Who
Actually,
got the heat
a
on?
little
Turn the heat
humid over
off.
here.
It is 62 degrees. What are you talking about? Take
good.
my bra off.
Whew.
Girl,
Oh,
mass is off. It's Sunday. Ooh.
okay. Well, this next clip gonna kind of piggyback off what we was kind of a little bit talking about, but I'm gonna bring this up. This is one I submitted.
Emotionally off limits, and you don't even realize how much that affected you. As a child, I knew adult space was off limits. You stayed out of grown folks' way. You ain't just walk up and hug people. You ain't just sit close. You ain't just express emotions freely. My mother felt emotionally off limits. And my grandfather, Monday through Friday, he was emotionally unavailable. He was distant, hard working, and just existed. But by Friday night and Saturday, once the drinking started, once the music came on, once they loosened up and started having a good time, then you could access him. Then he became warm. Then he laughed, he talked more. Then you felt like you can approach him. So as a child, you start learning something dangerous in psychology. You learn that emotional connection only comes when people are in the mood for you. You learn to wait for permission to feel love. You learn to read energy before speak. You learn to survive around adults instead of connecting to them. That type of environment creates hypervigilance. You grow up overthinking everything, feeling like you bothering people, waiting for others to call first, feeling uncomfortable asking for help, wanting affection but not knowing how to receive it naturally. And I had to fix that about myself as an adult, because I realized I carried that emotional distance into my own life. I realized I was taught that closeness had conditions attached to it. So with my children, I became emotionally safe. My kids don't have to wait till I'm drinking, laughing, or in a good mood, or emotionally available on random occasions just to feel close to me. They can approach me, they can talk to me, they can hug me, they can feel safe around me emotionally, because I never truly got that. And a lot of people walking around calling themselves independent when really they learn emotional survival from growing up around emotionally unavailable adults. Children shouldn't have to earn emotional access around the people who's supposed to make them feel the safest. Some of
Mm.
What y'all
I
think?
like it. I like it. I think that
I
kids
like it.
definitely.
I disagree 1000%.
I
I do
like
like
that.
what
I
your feels
definitely
are.
feel that children, for one, children definitely have to learn they place when dealing with adults, meaning that You're not supposed to be at a table with adults. You're not supposed to be in a conversation. You're not supposed to be around if we're doing adult activities. But what I will say, like when I grew up, we wasn't supposed to be around, but if we needed something, if we had a question, if we had anything to say, I can go up to my dad and I can ask him. I don't have to wait. If he were drinking, I still can come up to him and ask what I had to ask. But once he handled it, get out my face because I'm over here with adults. And yeah, I definitely feel like kids supposed to have a place. That's why I would say for that question.
I think picking back off what he's saying and some black folks dynamic, or just people in general, right? Sometimes when you're a child and you see certain vibes and patterns, it definitely could travel into adulthood. And sometimes I also realize with certain adults, they emotional capacity level when it comes to expression, especially when it comes to men in particular, sometimes it don't all the way be there. Sometimes certain men be kind of close off, or they be like, "Listen, I know you're trying to have access to me, but I'm gonna give you access to me when I want to on my terms and nothing else." So I feel like
As a parent,
if
that's
there was more of an open kind of
mm,
door policy. Like it's not gonna obviously be in a child's place. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like if there was more balance in certain households, that more emotional availability be more access.
but then that's closed off as a parent when you just said I basically like get to you when I get to you type of thing, like whenever I'm available. That leaves that child not wanting to be able to talk to you when he's going through something, or he sometimes people there's kids that feel like they're going to, I'm just gonna give an example, commit suicide or something like that. But if they don't have there's parents, they don't have those parents where they can, come up and talk to them, and that's what sometimes those things happen.
Oh,
Yes, for sure.
They
That's
don't
horrible. And
have to reach out
yeah,
to.
I definitely agree with you. You don't have a parent you can reach out to. Parents is too busy not noticing you. And it has been time in my life I can probably say I did feel alone. I mean, we have a long childhood. We have 18 years till we are technically adults
yeah.
or whatever. So I had a long time and stuff. So yeah, parents have to be more aware.
I'm back.
But kids do got to know their spot. I do feel seriously.
Okay, Harold, you said you oh hang on, let me unmute you.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear
Yeah,
you.
welcome
So,
back.
You can't
so
hear
you
me.
said we hear. So you
This is
said
ghetto.
I know. Did you
This
say
is
you
so
kind of
ghetto.
disagree with what he
Can you hear me?
said?
Can you
You
hear
had
me?
a yeah. You say you had some pushback.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, we hear you.
We hear you.
Can you hear us?
Yeah,
No,
you good. You good. You good.
no, we need a
Can you
response.
hear? Can you hear us, Sarah? Hello.
No, I can't hear y'all.
You
See,
can't
Oh,
hear us.
hang on.
But yeah, I definitely feel that parents should make themselves available to their kids, regardless of what they are doing. Whether you have friends around, whether you had a long day at work. My dad used to work 3 jobs when I was growing up, and my dad always came home with like a happy meal for me. My dad had a toupee. I didn't know when I was a kid, but every time he come home, he would lift it up a few times, and I would smile, and he would like give me my meal, but I will always be able to run up to him and say what I have to say, and he will listen. Now, if his friend is over and stuff like that, okay, son, go on now. I get it.
Yes.
Yeah, see, can y'all hear me? Am I back?
Yes, you good.
You back?
Okay.
all right.
You had a rebuttal. I want to hear your rebuttal to him, to the dude in the video.
I was joking about how I disagree.
Oh,
Um, but I do think there's a limited experience when it comes to emotional communication in Black households, right? Even for young Black boys, you're not supposed to cry, but you're a human.
yes.
Scrape my knee, man up, men don't cry. All of the things. Don't cook because that's what women do. So we apply these gender roles on our children and they're passionate. Like there's girls who want to be firefighters, but that's not what girls do. And so I think having conversations about emotions is one of the basic things that every child should have with their parents. Um, but that requires the parents to be able to have those types of conversations with each other and then with their children.
Absolutely, I agree.
Okay. Well, this go into the next clip that Cordero submitted, so I think this gonna apply here.
Exploit our positions of authority. Shut your damn mouth. I'm grown. I don't want to hear it. I don't care how you feel. This is my house. Do what I said. Like, and I call those types of things exploitation of authority. I'm pretty sure all of us have examples in our life where our parents were yelling at us about something and we were trying to explain to them what was really going on. And they were too busy telling us to shut up, stop talking back. This is my type of house. Do you remember how powerless you felt in that situation? Do you remember that? And it's like, I have countless experiences and memories of that as a child. And for that reason alone, I have already told y'all, there is only one thing, and I'm giving you the key to getting me to act out of character. There is literally only one mental part of my brain that's unhealed. And it has to do with that playing on my intelligence, not allowing me to speak, not allowing me to get my part out. Those types of things are what move me to get physically violent with people because it takes me back to a place where I was powerless as a child. I remember my daddy would do shit. I would be a witness to what he was doing that was wrong. And then he would tell lies about it or recreate the narrative. And as a child, I had to go along with whatever he was saying out of fear of repercussion. You have to sit there and just take it and accept it and grin and bear it. And at 42 years old, I'm still not healed from that. I'll be very honest with you. So whenever somebody plays on my intelligence or tries to get me to go along with something that is different from what the hell I've seen with my own two eyes, it brings about feelings of rage. And so I say that to say this. Parents, don't do that to your kids. Don't do that to your children. Don't force your kids. Don't go around. This another thing on my mama's side of the family that they had real bad. My grandma and my auntie would do some foul ass shit to my mama behind her back. But because I had to go to my grandma's house every day after school, you know what I'm saying? Or on the weekends or whatever, like I couldn't say nothing. I would have to pretend like I didn't know what the hell was going on in order to keep the peace. And managing those types of dynamics are something that I never should have had to have done as a child. I never should have had to be managing adult relationships and I can't say this and I can't do that and I can't do this because if I make a mistake and I reveal what auntie or grandma did, it's gonna cause some commotion over here. Don't do that to your children. Just don't. This story ain't even got nothing to do with me. But listening to this 8-year-old boy having to go along with this woman's sinister ways, it took me back to my childhood because although my family did not carry on in a manner that was this severe, I dealt with the same thing.
I guess for me, speaking first, going back to what I told you about how me and my sister came up under the old school way. I think what he said is true. Like you definitely have to have more of a open door to acknowledgement of people feelings. And I think sometimes that's the conflict, even dealing with black families, like we respect our elder, respect the old school way because some of it did work out. But in our new school, modern ways, it's like, listen, we want to hold people accountable. We want to call shit out. But we all know sometimes in certain dynamics, especially with black people, they be like, no, just let it go, let it go. Nobody want to have no conflict and all this and that. But in reality, it's like if we don't call shit out and hold people accountable, then how are we supposed to have a certain relationship? Then you be mad that we don't be around. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I probably get in trouble as a kid for not even speaking up and saying in my household. I don't think it was any of that going on. I was literally not speaking up and not saying what was said or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think that um that was the problem with the parents. You know, why is your child knowing what's going on between sisters and aunties? Why is the child hearing any of that conversation to begin with? Why are you putting that level of stress on them? I mean, um, I do think you're supposed to have some type of respect. So if your parents say, um, don't say nothing or be quiet, it's like saying leave it alone. I think you should. You can receive it negative or positive how you want to take it. If they say leave it alone or don't say nothing, you can take it how you want. Just leave it alone and move forward. But I feel like the problem was, first of all, putting your child in the situation. Why they know about what's going on with you and grandma? Why you know about what's going on with you and auntie? Keep them up in a child place and keep him up out of that and let him go play the game while you in the other room discussing adult things. It's like an adult thing that a child shouldn't be never be involved in.
Do you feel like sometimes one of the defaults when it comes to some our people is the stereotype how with some black folks, they be like, listen, I'm grown. I can say whatever I want, child, no matter if they're around or not. But then parents get mad that a child know grown people business. It's like a contradiction. Like, here's the thing. You can't get mad that a child gonna come up with their own hypothesis on what's going on when a child don't know the full context of the situation. They just gonna run with what they know. But you older, you know better. You have all the context and the cards at play. So to me, it's like you should have took heed. You know what I'm saying? We all grew up hearing the phrase like, "Oh, why you all in my mouth?" Then why? And my rebuttal would be no shade. Why are you speaking all this tea to me? Because I'm soaking up everything that you spilling out. No shade.
Was
As a
so the question was, were you in the room with them instead of being in a child's place, which is in the room? Like that's the when and I'm taking my folks, my mom and my aunt. Now I'm at an age where the curtain has been pulled back and I'm learning a lot of stuff about my family that I didn't know. But like as a child, I didn't know any of that. So in this particular case, the objective was accomplished, right? I didn't find out to all these things until I'm my mid 20s, and so not that that is a detriment, but it's a lot of eye-opening things that you learn as you get older. And so the question that I asked, not to like disagree with the video or push back, but it's like, what could I have done with that information then that I know now? Because honestly, I haven't done anything new. I just know that I have 20 more cousins. But back then, what could I have done with that information, and what would have been, if any, a detriment to knowing that? Because I know they say ignorant is bliss, and so if your child is 7 and they don't know that Uncle Bob is really, Mama's brother, whatever the case may be, what
Mama
harm is that
man.
doing? Right? You know what I'm saying, Mama? This is the man
Mm,
that this is the man that makes sure we got ground beef chicken and pork chops in the freezer. But
okay.
what information do how does that information impact me as a child versus as an adult? So the other thing is what is the content of those conversations, right? If we're talking about the family friend that has really friendly fingers when it comes to children, then you don't need to bring your child around that. That should not agree with you and on that, Aaron. Your child doesn't need to be around that person
Right.
if you're telling them, okay, don't do this. Where this like, and I'm in full agreement. Like you, next thing your child is at home, they're probably in their PJs. We got company coming over and just dress up. Now it's different. Dress up because I want you to be presentable and I need you to look like I take care of you versus dress up because I don't want someone looking at you in a sexual manner. Like I think those are two different things. 'Cause my mom, we had
Mhm.
company come over, go put some clean socks on. I'm at home. Like, what do I need clean socks? Like, I got it because I was playing outside. Go because she wanted you to look presentable as
mm,
opposed to cover up because so and so is coming over.
Okay.
So I think there's that part.
We old school. I grew up old school, very traditional with all my family. So it was 10 kids running around the house at once, and so when a problem arises with adults, they would typically talk around the kids. And I'm sorry, I was definitely one of the kids that would definitely drop the bomb. Well, Auntie said this, and next thing you know, it's an argument.
Absolutely.
And then you getting
You
good tail
know,
worn out like.
Because she said
then
it,
I,
so I
but
can't.
then, but then,
She
but,
said it.
but then I had to go tell my grandma, so my grandma could make sure nobody whooped me about it, and now she gonna handle the situation. But it's like I said, don't have your kid around if you're talking about certain things that your child shouldn't hear. Your child shouldn't have to be emotionally invested in an adult situation.
Right. It's
And
like
then
it's
you
like a
try to teach
child
them
watching
later.
reality TV and they don't know what's going on. Like,
Thank you. Like, why should we like? Don't try to check your child later when you put them up in there in the first place.
Aaron, can you do the clip with um what the about the guys about the boy, well, the guy that felt that he doesn't, well, the guy that doesn't um say that, like, he doesn't go between his cheeks that situation.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that could be the
Oh,
last one. Hang on. Where is?
so now we actually hear what was actually said.
All right, give me 1 minute. I want to make sure I have the right.
I think that was great.
I think this is it. I pray this is it.
That's
Yeah,
nasty.
this is it. Yeah. Okay, this be the last one.
When I'm showering, touch my ass in the shower.
So you don't spread your shit?
No.
What?
I don't spread my shit.
You don't wash your ass, nigga? That's why you fucking stink.
I'm a grown man.
Y'all saw the video that I did with Dr. Tony Neal when I was saying I would never want to be a straight man because there's so many rules. But here is how all of that talk, all of that, ooh, that's gay. This is how it manifests itself. Now we got niggas around here that anything in relation to the butt is gay. Now I can see if you said let another person touch your butt. He said he tied it directly to manhood and got mad with them. No, I'm a grown ass man. I don't touch my butt in the shower. He got that from somewhere. And it's not just this young man. There are a lot of people. Ladies, imagine being down there on your knees, giving him oral sex and what that smell
Oh,
like. Nasty. All because using a wet wipe is gay. Spreading your ass is gay. Do you see why I always say straight men be worrying about the gays? Bitch, don't nobody want y'all nasty booty ass. Please listen to the sissy. All the husbands, all the boyfriends that sit down and watch Funky Dineva with their wives, all of the husbands that happen to be walking past the TV right now while their wife is watching the TV, you supposed to put that soap or that body wash on that rag. You supposed to let that rag drape over your finger like a tent. Now, if you stick this much in it, that make you gay. That's gay, okay? But you allowed to put this much in it and still be straight, okay? I'm telling you, your wives and girlfriends and mamas and the ladies that do your laundry, they will thank you for it later. Now, if you stick this much in it, you probably gay, okay? But you can put this much right there and get in there in them folds and stuff and get that boo-boo out of there, okay? But this is what happens when y'all call every damn thing gay. I could not, ooh, good God almighty. I couldn't imagine. And if you don't want to do that, get a bidet. Fellas, it's 2026, okay? It is time we destigmatize a lot of this doggone stuff, okay? And listen, being a grown-ass man equals not wiping my ass properly, then Lord, please make me a flaming hot Cheeto sissy every time I'm reincarnated, because I know you stink, and I know your underwear nasty, and I know your ass is itchy on the doggone inside. Good God almighty.
I could. You know what? This was funny, but you know what? I guess I start this off and say this. In my younger years of dealing with some alleged straight man and trade in my younger gay year. Listen, I would say
Nasty.
this on the air. It is not cute. Wash your fucking ass and dig. No way somebody ain't no way. No, ain't no way. That's some trifling ass shit. It's so ghetto here. This can't be real. I
This
can't.
mean your sit down air, your stand up air, your walk by air, all of that thing.
Yes.
But the boy said he don't even open his cheeks when he's like, what?
So my thing is, so when you gotta go do you do how what is it? We need to follow up because what is that process like? Do you just hope for the best and you squeeze
Yeah,
really really
like
hard?
a bidet or some
You
shit.
squeeze, you squeeze, you squeeze your butt together. Make sure to hope for the best.
Yeah, I'm assuming he just hoping the soap would just go in there, but you still gotta scrub, you still gotta wipe.
That's nasty.
You know what's crazy? I definitely was straight. I didn't experiment with a guy until 17, going on 18, and I was real rugged and football and everything. And
Mhm.
so I could truly say that is very much accurate because once I became gay and I learned how to properly do things and I look back, I was like, yeah, when I was straight, I was not per
Pause.
se doing it right. And I don't know who taught me that or why that was even a thing. And I'm so glad I'm evolved now. But yeah, it actually is a thing.
So I
This
was
is why it's important to
always
have solid father figures in the home because my dad
Yeah.
taught me, hey son, listen, get your little stank ass in there, and you got white between them cheeks, and
Hell
you came
yeah.
out too fast. And I'm like, that's it's weird. wipe between them cheeks. What's gonna be weird is when you get home and your mama see them doo-doo stains in your underwear, you gotta explain that. You think
You can
you ain't
tell
had to tell
what.
me nothing.
And I
Yeah.
feel that has no,
It's getting washed twice.
that has nothing to do with being gay. Like wipe your ass. I don't get that.
That's
Like
hygiene.
In my eyes, from a man perspective, you should be thinking like, first of all, I should be smelling good and ready across the board because you never know when the opportunity gonna strike. That's rule number one. And rule number
Hello.
two, it's like,
My
do you
man
ever
say
think like, okay, logically, take the man out the equation?
he's a
Do you
dog.
want a girl to say something about that? You know you're gonna feel salty when a girl gonna say something about that to you. Your whole pride and ego gonna go down the drain. And you're gonna be like, you know what, shit, I've been fucking up the game this whole time.
You want
Because
your girl to watch your dirty drawers. You want your girl
yeah,
to
like you pull
while
down
you
those drawers,
sleep.
that girl see those stains, they be like, what the fuck? I can't
You
keep up
remember
my
Friday? You remember Friday when he when what's his name? Debo picked up the cup with the drawers on it.
Mhm,
the fact that he
mhm,
on the internet and said that I want to do. He got a girl, or is he ever got a girl? Because now that you put that,
mhm.
This is I will say this though, and I'm not trying to defend being I don't know, unhygienic. Right, but the way it's going with how everything a man do at this point is gay. Right, you can't find a parking spot, you assault that.
Yeah.
It's packed. Right, so there's that. Right, you're asking for directions. That's gay. Like so, there's a lot
Mhm.
of things that it's kind of like we say women as a whole, based off of what's being presented on social media. It's like they want men to literally only thing that they're responsible for is to pay for stuff. I don't care about you. What are you clipping your nails for? Who you trying to clip your nails for? Why are you trying to smell good? Why your deodorant? How come you just can't wear no regular ass deodorant? So it's just like
Mm.
it's like all the things that we pride ourselves on this side of the rainbow, if you will.
Right.
It's like, okay, so why would you smell like that? You're finna go outside. I don't care if you're going to Walmart. My mama told me if you're going to Walmart, still dress up. Because in certain towns, Walmart is like the mall.
Yeah.
You know? So you just never know. But like then again, she's like, you always keep your nails clean, keep them clipped. Right? Keep everything moisturized. You don't want to go anywhere that can dry face it or have ashy elbows. So
Mm.
I think those type of maintenance, right, is now because it's like some girls like, oh girl, he got grease. Yeah, so he got a hard job. Okay, so you always want him to smell like grease and look like he work on cars 24/7.
Ooh,
Like
and
you
you know
don't you
you said woman. You said could play a counterpart in a straight man because
No, yeah, I'm about to say that too.
women
yeah.
beliefs can impact a straight man. You know, a woman might be like, "Oh, he get up between his, he get up in between his cheeks and he handle his business." That's gay.
Girl,
Why
your
he
man
back there?
gay.
I feel like it's a struggle for straight men in 2026. Like you can't do it's like anything that seems fun or living or just being about you, even celebrating your own birthday, it just gay. And it's
You
all
can't do hookah.
stupid.
You
It's
can't
so
smoke hookah. That's
stupid.
gay. A real man
It's
smokes
gay.
cigarettes, so he smokes weed. You can't do hookah. That's gay shit.
Oh,
Right?
having a guys night?
You
Oh,
gonna
y'all
pick
having
what
a
I
guys
do?
night? What's going on there? Y'all having a guys night? No women. Like to me, it's like it's a contradiction. It's like y'all want, and I can't speak for straight men because I'm not straight one, right? But to me, it's like going back to what Nelson said, sometimes the woman do play the big role because it's like you want the men to go all out for y'all when it's y'all birthday. Y'all want to do all these lavish things, so we can't live just like y'all live. We can't have a hookah birthday party. We can't have balloons or cakes.
He got to pay for you and
Yeah.
your friends.
Yes, like we can't have
We can't
dinners
do
and
a photo
stuff.
shoot. We can't do that. None of that.
Cute. See, I listen. One thing about me being a
Thank
black gay
God we're
man, I
gay.
love it over here. Nobody can say you can't. Listen, I get away with murder. The straight men, they are hanging by the neck. I love it
They are
over here.
living in the
Oh, man,
shell.
I can do
They are living under a
it
rock.
all. I love it over here. Shit, nobody can say, "Oh, that's gay," because I am gay. So I love it all here. You
I
know.
don't care. How about like care for your? The crazy part is self care and loving yourself and taking care of yourself would be considered gay. That's what people have to actually think about. Somebody can sit up there and tell you that loving myself, taking care of myself is gay, and you're gonna actually go along with it. That's the part that blows my mind.
And I know at one while it was considered, I guess, gay for like men to have earrings and things like that.
That is true. Once
Yes.
upon a time.
Well,
So
Mm.
in the 90s, if a man wore a hoop
Mhm.
earring on the left side, he was gay. But if he did it on the right
In day and
side, he
age,
was
most men got
and I'm
both
like, how
now.
do you know? I'm like who comes up with these rules? Like I just
The
need to know. I
DL
want to
still wore it on the right side, and he was DL. He wore it on the straight side, but he was DL. Stop playing.
if he
that,
got a if he got a tattoo on his right arm. Like what?
that's just like
What?
that. I think is so dumb about what did they say about people wearing, was it white after Labor Day or something like that?
Yeah,
Who made
yeah, it's like bad luck.
who came up there and told you that you can't wear your own clothes that you bought after Labor Day? Who came up with this?
Because they got an all
Thank you.
white party to go to.
Okay.
What?
They have all white yacht party all the time.
Wear your clothes. Do what you do.
Mhm.
It's a made up thing. Like who came up with that?
True, but a lot of people kind of go with the okie doke because even with our own people, I only see white when it comes to like spring and summer. When it comes to fall and winter time, no, I even when we go into the club scenes or whatever, nobody don't be wearing that. And I just feel like people just took it and ran with it like it's gospel. Like
But be your own person. If that's what you want to wear it.
Well, that's a seasonal thing though. People
it's
typically wear
seasonal.
the brighter colors in the
But
spring
wear
and
because
summer.
you
Still,
want to wear it,
I
not
don't.
nobody else.
I still feel like if that's something that you want to wear it.
It's like
Thank you.
wearing
I
it's
agree.
like it's like
I
wearing
agree.
I
Christmas
get that.
colors during summertime.
I get what y'all saying, like the seasonal
Yeah.
thing. You want to wear it, wear it.
Yeah, because a lot of us is not into like the season thing or you wear this
Oh,
around that time. No, I wear what
that's
I
just
want
me.
to wear. You
It's just
don't
me. Okay.
dictate to what I
I
put
guess
on. I might,
I guess that's
yeah,
gay.
yeah,
No,
that's gay.
you're not the only one, Eric, because sometimes I
So,
operate that too. Like you're not gonna see me with a turtleneck sweater in summertime of 80 degrees. Like
No,
you
that's
being,
modest.
I'm just being silly.
That's with sense. You really think you're doing something? It's 97 degrees and you got this black turtleneck on.
I'm gonna come up to you
okay,
like,
I got this black turtleneck on because I was going to an event today and I had to dress up,
Oh,
and it's 80
okay.
degrees.
Oh, okay, now we
And you
see.
still got that turtleneck on? You can find no light polo. You can find no light
I ain't had no,
polo button
I didn't have
down.
no, I didn't have no money to buy a new shirt, and I had this turtleneck. I got to wear it, and it's 80 degrees.
Make sure you have your towel handy because you're gonna have to.
and
Oh
I'll be like,
god.
"Friend, I'm not trying to have you had no heat stroke or nothing like you got."
Make
Right.
sure you have your water. Make sure you have your little camelback of water. Just make sure you're ready
Okay,
for
this all I can.
hydration.
This all I got, y'all. Like I know, and I definitely been a kid that definitely had to wear something um thick or something like that for the wrong season. Definitely happened to me
Yes, I've
before.
been there.
They didn't make out seasons all year round. I used to wear corduroy. That's how
Ooh,
I had to wear corduroy from the. This is back when they had a husky section.
ooh,
Yeah, we had husky back in the day.
Yeah,
remember?
we definitely did. Ugh. Can you just
I
put
used to
it
be
all
younger
in
then.
one? Don't put us out like that.
Right. I'm a husky and I still can't find my size. Like now I'm mad. Like
What?
who define husky?
I'm not being my parent man because now we got to go over here.
See, this
You
is
I
why
got
I
shopping the men's section at 14. That's
look
crazy.
me same
listen. This is why
same
I love the beauty of online now. You can find all your sizes online now. That's why I'm like, you know what? If I can't go on store, I just get on the app.
online.
You could get some good shit online or on some Sheen or Tumi type shit. You know, it'd be
And
cheap.
it's cheap now. It's
Mhm.
affordable. I don't know what it was back in the day,
Yeah,
but my
still look
days
good with
stressed
this
out.
price compared to somebody wearing something 400. Still give quality. Okay,
It's about how you wear it.
right.
Yes. I'm not overly into name brands. My shoes will be
Yeah.
name brand, but my clothing, I'm not overly name brand for clothing, but my shoes will be name brand.
I'm not into name brand, big on name brand, but I do wear name brand stuff. It's more on I like it, not because a name. If I actually like it, like I love Louis Vuitton. I just love it, not because of the name, but I just like stuff.
Right.
Uh-oh. Nelson, don't do your stars.
No, I think he accidentally clicked out.
Do we have
Mm.
enough?
But that's I think that'd be the last clip because, like I said earlier, the other clip be for next week. Before.
Well, we really dove into some things today, y'all.
Well, it was a deep dive. I like Nelson. I'm glad you kind of set the tone with your question, and then the clips that how I lined it up. It just coincidence how it felt like that. So that was beautiful. I loved it. I loved
Yeah,
how
it all flow. It really flow. It kind of flow with each other, and I feel like all the questions kind of piggybacked off each other as well.
I could say great execution on everybody's part. Because oh Lord. But I hope y'all all have a blessed Sunday.
Y'all see
Thank you.
that
Y'all have a
peace
great
sign?
night.
Mhm.
Uh
Peace.
oh.